Collaborate. So the why? Because none of us is as strong, not one of us is as strong as all of us. That's just not the way it works. The one-room schoolhouse will not work anymore. It's too complex. I am well aware that individuals have done, are doing, and will do great things. But I've also learned from, whether it's being an athlete or a teacher or a coach, or a leader, whatever, innovation really is about embracing collaboration. Collaboration is what is necessary to make our world move forward. So we know what we say. This is kind of what we describe as the what. No one learns or teaches in isolation. And we say relationship and engagement with the parents and community is inclusive, direct, and honest. That's how we describe the what. But basically what that means is that professional learning in classrooms is best enhanced when we tap into the collective wisdom of one another. I do believe we need to learn from experts and research, and I also believe that if we focus on learning from one another based upon the needs of our students, it's the best ongoing professional development possible. And I believe this work is complex as I described, and I also believe if you gather the right people in the room, the answer is in the room. Regardless of how you need to pull and tug on it, the answer is in the room. So when I tell you a quick story about a teacher, this teacher is real, but it's a made-up name and a made-up picture, and we'll call this teacher Mr. Jones. Now there is a man named Jeff Howard who's an educator and runs what's called the Efficacy Center, and he has this theory of what he calls Room 217. Room 217 is this. He says, in a lot of schools there is a Room 217, which is a particular classroom and teacher that no matter what, year after year, regardless of who's in that classroom, they get these amazing results. They have this incredible sense of motivation for learning in that classroom. It's different in there, in Room 217, because of this teacher. And it's not because who you put in the class, or it's not that this teacher just does something magical in terms of how they relate and work with kids. Now, we have these, of course we have these, they're around, and I've known a Room 217. Okay, so we'll call this Room 217 Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones is and was amazing. Incredible teacher. Just like 217 describes, every year these kids in this class flourished. Something about the way he did it. And I can tell you that I used to go into that classroom when I was having a bad day just to sit and see the world differently because it was that good. It was almost as though the teacher was just the orchestrator and kids were owning their learning, and it just had this magic to it all the time. Even in messy transitions, it just seemed to be this pristine beauty that was just constantly emerging. It was awesome. So, this teacher, Mr. Jones, was nominated for an award, a big award. And Mr. Jones came to me for my endorsement, needed my signature to move forward. Mr. Jones knew that I was impressed with him. So we thought that that was maybe a no-brainer. I looked through the application and the requirements, and one thing stuck out that was a problem. And that was this application required the teacher to be collaborative and work with peers and actually move that expertise outside of the classroom and actually make the school a better place, not just the classroom. Here's the dilemma. Mr. Jones wasn't necessarily interested in that. In fact, I had already had the difficult conversations with Mr. Jones to say, you know how I think about you relative to you as an instructor. The dilemma is, what we do here is also expand your wisdom beyond the walls of your classroom. And that was just a challenge for him. It just was. I couldn't sign it. I had to call him in and say, you know what I think? I can't sign this for you. I can't sign this knowing that this application is expecting this, and by the way, so do I. You are amazing in many But I think teaching is more than your kids. Which is a concept that sometimes not everybody agrees with, but it's one we have staked. We believe that nobody teaches or learns in isolation. The other is that we say relationship and engagement with the community is inclusive and honest. And I have some news about that. But first, I'll read a quote. Abraham Lincoln said this. Abraham Lincoln, I would hope that everybody in the room would realize he accomplished amazing things, and this is his quote. Public sentiment is everything. With it, nothing can fail. Against it, nothing can succeed. Public sentiment. What our people think of us relative to how we serve them is critical. We poll our community. These are formal polls. It's not a survey monkey. It's a very systematic process, and we poll them, and we ask them what they think of us. Last year, we polled them in the spring, and we asked questions about our strategic plan, and one of the questions was, do you feel positive or satisfied about the school district? 2015, the spring, 71% said they do. 71%. That's the highest it's been in 10 years. In 2005, we had this really crazy spike, and if we were to take that out, look at where we are. And that's continual growth over the past number of years, even during difficult times. When you pull parents out, and you say, so where do parents reside in that? 84% of our parents said, I feel very positive about the school district. It's really, really impressive, and that's because of you. It's because of your work. It's because of your message. It's because of the way you serve. This is because of our work. It's nothing else. And when that is noticed, it enhances this concept of we for us. It makes a difference, and we have to pay attention to that, and I just want to say thank you. This is what it is.